Chop, chop, chop. The morning starts quiet, but the air is heavy with secrets. A sudden beat breaks the silence as Akari whispers, "Are the gym clothes dry?" Jiro barely manages a yeah. To the world, they're a happy family, but it's all an act. Jiro's heart races as he feels a sharp tug on his sleeve. He can't hide his nerves. "Dinner's at home," she says. With a final okay, their fake morning comes to a close. Outside, they play the part perfectly. "I'll be back. Have a safe trip." The neighbors see a dream couple, but behind Jiro's forced grin, he's crumbling. This newlywed life he dreamed of, it's a total disaster. Beep, the scoreboard doesn't lie. Their score is a pathetic 0. This is actually hell on earth. "Still rolling that gotcha, Jiro-chan?" His friend laughs. Jiro snaps back with a quick, annoyed "shut up." Jiro lets out a long, visible sigh. "I'm the only one here without any high-rarity stuff," he thinks bitterly. He stares at his phone, his face flushing. While others buy gifts for real girls, Jiro is still pouring his life savings into digital JPEG waifus. Walking through the halls, he feels out of place. This wasn't the high school life he had imagined. He hasn't had a girlfriend in 18 years, and the world feels increasingly harsh. "Morning, Jiro-kun." A bright voice cuts through his gloom. It's Shiori, the girl who makes his heart race just by existing. "You look really tired," she laughs softly. Jiro can barely find his words, muttering a shy morning back to her. "You sound so distant calling me Sakurazaka." She pouts. "Just call me Shiori, like you used to." He stares into her eyes, frozen. Sakurazaka Shiori, his childhood friend and his very first love. They say your first love never works out. But for Jiro, he never once wished for it to end. He just wanted things to stay like this forever, as long as they could stay by each other's side. "Hey!" A sharp voice cuts through his daydreaming, snapping him back to reality. "You're blocking the door." Akari stands there, looking down at them. The perfect romantic moment, completely ruined. Watanabe Akari, the school's most popular Gyaru, and a total nightmare for Jiro. She's stylish, fashionable, and, according to Jiro, definitely not his cup of tea. He stares from a distance, wondering how he ever got stuck with someone like her. Surrounded by noise and vulgar rumors, Akari is a mystery he doesn't want to solve. Jiro knows exactly where he stands. To people like Akari, he's just an outcast they'd never bother to notice. A sudden collision sends a jolt through him. Ugh, he can already feel the judgment. He braces for a sharp word, but Akari's expression is hard to read. Is she actually annoyed? Suddenly, she lights up like a different person. "Minami-kun," she squeals, her voice dripping with sweetness. While the school idol Minami gets a warm mourn, Jiro is left in the dust, completely invisible once again. Tenjin Minami. He's the kind of freaking handsome guy that makes everyone else look like background characters. "Minami-kun, we're in the same class again." Akari beams, her earlier coldness completely vanished. Jiro watches from the sidelines, physically repulsed by how pure Tenjin's aura is. "Another great year," she stammers, her face turning a deep crimson. She's completely head over heels. Jiro sinks into his seat. He can't believe this is the same aggressive girl from this morning. The classroom is buzzing with rumors. "Wouldn't it be great if Watanabe and Tenjin became roommates?" the girls whisper. Jiro overhears them and can't help but feel a sting of pity for Tenjin if that actually happens. "I'm shy," Jiro worries to himself. "Being paired with a total stranger, that sounds like a nightmare." Suddenly, Shiori turns to him with a hopeful smile. "It would be nice to be with someone you already know," she says softly. "For the couple practical." Her words hang in the air, sending Jiro's heart into an absolute tailspin. The teacher stands out of the front, dropping a bombshell on the third-year students. From today onwards, they will be part of a mandatory school tradition, the couple practical. In this weird curriculum, a boy and a girl will become a pseudo-married couple and live together in an apartment for the practical. Jiro lets out a heavy sigh, realizing the gravity of the situation. This isn't just a game. It's ultimately a course that determines whether you get to graduate. To keep things appropriate, the rooms can only be opened with a person's fingerprint, and each student is assigned an individual room within the unit. The odds are slim. With 15 guys in each of the 5 classes, Jiro only has a 1 in 75 chance to be paired with his crush, Sakurazaka. The teacher presses a button with a loud beep. Brace yourselves, he shouts. Go forth with your determination. Jiro watches from afar as Akari laughs and blushes with tension. He can't help but admire how amazing her cute act is, even if it feels completely impossible for him to ever be part of her world. I bet I'd be killed if we were in the same room, Jiro thinks, his eyes tracing the distance between them. Still, the math is the same for everyone. That is also a 1 in 75 chance. It's a gamble he isn't sure he's ready to take, but the school system doesn't give him a choice. The school day finally ends. Outside, the modern apartment building looms against the sky, a quiet reminder of the forced domestic life that awaits him and his classmates. Jiro heads home, his mind racing. He pulls off his tie and kicks off his shoes, the weight of the couple practical pressing down on him. Every breath feels like a countdown to a reality he never asked for. But disaster is already waiting. Akari is there, and she is furious. She screams, lunging at him. Jiro is pinned instantly. Who? He yells. His personal space has vanished in a second. That politeness is disgusting, she snaps. Don't talk to me that casually. Jiro sinks into the sofa. I'm wasted, he mutters. His quiet life is over. It's the absolute worst, Akari screams. She can't believe the school sorted them into the same room. Oh, I'm a victim here too, Jiro snaps back, feeling just as frustrated. Akari's expression shifts as she eyes him. I mean, there's someone you wanted to be paired with, right? Jiro freezes, his heart racing. How did she know? That person is Sakurazaka Shori, right? She mocks. Jiro is an open book. Dumbass, that's never gonna happen, she laughs. Guys are just way too easy to read. Jiro glares at her, his face turning red. I really don't want to hear that from you. Stuff like that never crossed my mind, Jiro stammers, his face deep red. Akari leans back, teasing him. If you got into the right mood. Nerd, she scoffs. Jiro can only mutter. So what? The room falls into a heavy, awkward silence. Suddenly, beep! The digital monitor on the wall springs to life. Jiro and Akari freeze, staring at the glowing screen in shock. Their couple practical score flashes, and it's changing their lives forever. What's that? Those points are creepy, Akari says, staring at the monitor. A camera lens gleams from the wall. Points will be deducted for unsatisfactory behavior, the system warns. That's an invasion of privacy, Akari screams, pointing at the camera in total shock. Why do you sound so unconcerned, she snaps. Any deductions will be your fault. Unsociable prick, she yells. Jiro stammers, wait, don't get so worked up. The monitor flashes with a loud beep. They both freeze, eyes locked on the screen. The numbers shift. Their fate in this apartment is now being decided by a machine. Isn't there some trick? Lend me that, Akari says, lunging forward to grab the manual. Jiro panics as she crowds his space. Huh? This close? Freaking scary. That really nice smell, not to mention that. Jiro dazes out, completely overwhelmed. I've decided, Akari says firmly. Jiro can only stammer. I'm sorry. Huh? I'm going to get an A rank and be paired with Minami-kun, Akari declares with determination. Jiro scrambles through the manual. Where is that rule even? Huh? At the end of each month, the top 10 A-rank students are allowed to change their pairs. There, it's real, Jiro mutters, staring at the fine print on the page. So as long as I get an A rank, it'll work out, Akari realizes, blushing at the thought. There's no way Minami-kun will get anything other than an A rank, she adds confidently. Jiro looks at her, confused. Hey, that's... Whoa, wait a minute. Just give me a moment, Jiro pleads. Akari just snaps back. What? If you're getting an A rank, that means we're... Jiro trails off as the realization hits him. He imagines himself and Akari finally acting like a real happy couple. Never mind, Jiro stammers, his face turning bright red as he snaps back to reality. What's with that? Huh. Akari just looks at him, completely unimpressed by his sudden outburst. This couple, make-believe makes you embarrassed? Virgin-kun, Akari teases, her face inches from his. Scared because you have no experience with women, she adds, laughing at his visible panic. Jiro snaps, his face bright red. Would you not lump me in with easy people like you? I hate this, Jiro thinks, unable to look away as the intensity of the room rises. Minami-kun's doing this couple make-believe with another girl, Akari says, her eyes filling with tears. I don't like it, she whispers, looking completely heartbroken. Jiro snaps, unable to handle her emotional shift. What's with that expression? I'm thirsty. I'm gonna go buy a drink, he yells, fleeing toward the door. Strawberry milk, Jiro mutters to himself as he leaves her behind. That was tense. Why did she suddenly start crying? Jiro wonders at the vending machine. Jiru-kun, Shiori's voice calls out, making his heart skip a beat. Sakurazaka. Jiro turns only to see her standing right next to Tenjin Minami. Tenjin Minami? Jiro panics, his face twisting in shock. Rare seeing you two together. The group laughs. Jiro's heart thumps as his crush stands with the class idol. Won't be that rare from now on, though, Tenjin says, looking directly at Jiro. Jiro stands there frozen, clutching his drink as the weight of the situation sinks in. But it feels a bit strange, Shiori adds with a gentle smile. We were still classmates yesterday, Minami-kun, she says, her presence making the moment feel even more surreal. But now I'm your bride, Shiori says with a radiant, blushing smile. Jiro stands frozen in the background. So distant, he thinks, watching his childhood friend drift away. Unfair. Why? The words echo in Jiro's head as he watches them together. Even those simple words feel so distant now. He stands alone in the dark. That girl, and this love that will never blossom. They're all so distant. Jiro can only stare at the ground, his heart heavy with regret. Jiru-kun! Shiori calls out as she sees him running past her and Tenjin. I wanted to be in a relationship with Sakurazaka, Jiro thinks, his heart racing with regret. But even so, it's not like he trails off as he continues his frantic escape. Damn it, Jiro huffs, his breathing heavy as he reaches for a drink. Kya. Whoa. A sudden commotion erupts, catching him off guard. Ha! Watanabe gasps, standing there soaking wet in just her underwear. Watanabe? Jiro stammers, his eyes wide with shock. What? He yelps as the steam and the sight of her completely overwhelm him. You just came out of the bath, Jiro realizes, his face turning a deep crimson. Hey you, how long do you intend to cower for? Akari demands, sitting cross-legged in her towel. Jiro stays curled in a ball on the sofa. Some virgin nerd like me just can't compare, he moans. But we're talking about that Tenjin Minami-kun, Jiro thinks, feeling completely outmatched. Hey, mama, Akari teases, laughing at Jiro's distress. Stop adding extra lines, Jiro shouts back, his face bright red and frustrated. Please cut me some slack. I beg you, Jiro groans, curling further into the sofa. I'm really distressed right now, he mutters, hiding his face in his knees. All right, Akari says softly, reaching out to pat his head. Don't mess with me. You recovered real fast, Jiro yells as Akari suddenly perks up. Nah, I ended up laughing after seeing you. I'm all energetic now, Akari giggles. Want to go at this couple make-believe for real? Akari asks, her tone turning serious. Let's act as a couple and get an A rank for the sake of those we like. Win-win, she proposes. It's good practice for the actual thing, right? Akari adds, leaning in close to him. Right? Akari asks, looking at him with a sudden, mischievous glint in her eyes. Dear, she whispers, her blushing face and gentle smile leaving Jiro completely speechless. Dear, Jiro stammers, his brain completely short-circuiting at the nickname. You said... He can barely get the words out, his face a total mess of hearts and panic. Ding dong! A loud doorbell cuts through the romantic tension instantly. Hey, Jiru-chan! My room's empty now. Let's go raiding, a friend shouts from outside. Gotcha! I'm coming, Jiro answers, looking relieved to escape the awkwardness. Yeah, he yells as Akari watches him from the sofa, the dear moment officially over. Hey, we're in the negatives and you're going off to play? Akari calls out as Jiro heads for the door. What do you want me to do, Jiro sighs, looking back at her. Akari puckers her lips, leaning in with her eyes closed. Kiss. The text flashes as Jiro stands there in absolute silence. A mole? Jiro asks, leaning in close to inspect her face instead of kissing her. Who? A goodbye kiss, obviously? Akari screams, her face exploding in a blush. Kiss? Jiro panics, his brain completely melting as the chapter ends. So Virgin can't even do a kiss? Akari teases, her eyes closed as she waits. Shut up, just a bit, Jiro yells toward the door as his friends continue to knock. Bloody Jiro, you're so damn slow, his friend screams from the hallway. God damn, Jiro mutters, his face shadowed with a sudden, intense resolve. Don't get mad later, he warns, his voice low and serious. Huh. Akari's eyes widen in surprise as Jiro suddenly reaches out. Geez, this guy, what the hell is he doing? Jiro's friend sighs, still waiting outside the door. The hallway falls silent as Jiro pulls Akari close, their shadows overlapping against the door. Their faces inch closer, the space between them vanishing in a moment of pure, breathless tension. Sure took your time. You'd be dead in a battlefield. Jiro's friend scolds him in the hallway. Sorry, Jiro mutters, looking dazed as he follows his friend away from the room. Shit, I got played. Treating me like an idiot. Jiro thinks, his face a deep, burning red. Akari sits alone on the floor, her back to the door as she processes what just happened. That freaking slut, she whispers to herself, completely flustered by the encounter. I didn't mean the lips, Akari whispers, her face burning as she touches her mouth. She squeezes her closed tight, her heart racing from the unexpected intimacy. And that was how our extraordinary newlywed life began, the narrator concludes. The digital monitor flashes one last time. Beep, a new score and a new beginning.